Hello, Days Where Lost fans. This is for Wednesday, June the 25th. Please like, subscribe, and share if you know someone who loves the show. Sophia is wanting to hire, what's her name here? The ex-DA, Melinda Trask. And she agrees to take her, to find her some parents for their baby, pro bono. But after Sophia has left, Brady comes along and she lets her know that he doesn't want her to have anything to do with helping Tate or Sophia. They don't want her anywhere around any newborn babies because of her history with Nicole and Eric's babies. So, he was being a real prick, like only Brady can be. So she has to go, she's, telling him, you really going to bring all that up, and he's like, yep, stay away. So she tells Sophia, I just can't do it. Brady's family's not going to let me. And she's very distressed. I feel sorry for Sophia. She doesn't want the baby to be born, and I know she's afraid her and Tate both will get attached. She wants someone to take the baby as soon as she has it and her never see it. So Sarah's talking to Stephanie, and she tells her that someone told Xander that she had known that secret and been keeping it, and Stephanie said, well, it wasn't me or Alex. And she said, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Phillip, but he denies it. Would you see if you could get it out of him? And she said, I doubt if he'll tell me anything. But she said, please, Stephanie, I just need to know. And she says, okay, that she will. So she goes in to talk to Phillip, and he's telling her, no, Xander did not beat me up, and I did not tell him about Sarah. And she said, so you would feel extra guilty if you did and caused their marriage to split. And he looked at her like this and said, of course I would. And she said, uh-huh. So, she does not believe him. Neither does Sarah. But what can you do? She goes back out and tells Sarah he's stuck to his story. Anyway, a little bit before Stephanie had went in, Brady went to visit Phillip, and he's telling him that he's so glad that Xander wasn't the one that did it, because they're brothers and families shouldn't do that to each other, no matter how mad they get, and he's real happy about it. And meanwhile, Phillip's having flashbacks of Xander about beating his daggone head in. Well, he did beat his head in. So, So Marlena said she wanted to talk to Roman since Rachel said Johnny shot EJ. So she tells him, I want to talk to you about Johnny. I think he may have been the one to shoot EJ. She said, it looks to me like you already knew that. So they go up in the Roman's room, and Roman's like, tell me what you know. And she tells him, he tells her, and they both decide this is bad. And Roman said one of the bullets were gone when he got the gun back, and where he found it stuffed in the flower bed and stuff. And he said, we got to get Johnny up here and ask him what happened, and we got to talk to him now. So they send Johnny a text, but Johnny's busy working over at Mera Kiriakas, and he's talking to Alex saying, I'm done with all my training and harassment training and all this stuff. I'm ready to start working. And Alex says, well, we may not have a company. And Xander walks in and says, like hell we won't. Mera's the one that's going to be took down. And so they talk about how they're going to, Xander's going to ask for a vote since he was judged on a false arrest. And he asked Johnny, you got a problem with taking your daddy down? And he said, nope, if it's good for Titan Mera, I'm in. Johnny, he's just, what a letdown, Anyway, suck it up, Johnny. So he's talking to Marlena and Roman. And he said, I told you the truth. And then he finally comes clean and said, yes, I took the gun. I went over. I was so angry, and he's shaking his fist and stuff. He said, and I went over there to talk to my dad. Well, I wanted to kill him. I wanted to hurt him. And I feel so guilty for doing it. I pointed the gun at him, and he asked me what I was doing and told me he didn't want me to be like him. And he was sorry that his mistakes had haunted and ruined his life. And he said, I just wanted to pull it. But I handed him the gun and walked out. And Roman's like, what? And he said, yeah. He said, you didn't stuff it in the flower bed? And he said, no, I handed it to my dad before I went out. And he said, well, there's a bullet missing. Are you sure you didn't shoot? He said, what, a bullet missing? This is the first I've heard of that. So that's what's going on there. And I'm going to tell you, that's a lie. Either Days has messed up or Johnny's just lying. Anyway, Stephanie found her transcript at the hospital, and she is furious at Alex. And she said, why did you do this behind my back? But when he told her Kate thinks it could be a bestseller, she softens up a little bit. But still, he betrayed her trust. Alex is not trustworthy. Let's just get that there. Xander sees Brady in the square, and Brady's like, I need to talk to you about basic black. He said, that's the least of my problems, Brady. And he said, I'm going to see if the hospital will re-vote since I got turned down because of a false arrest. If I could just get one member to change their vote. And Brady said, I'll change my vote because, you know, he's a little stab everybody in the back, Brady. I'm so sick of him anymore. He's such a little punk. That's a wrap. Thanks for watching.